What is up, people? You hear that noise? That is a machine. I don't know who it is exactly. I'm not sure if it's I don't think it's the town, because this thing looks too freaking big and expensive for our little town to own it. So I'm thinking either the county, maybe it's the electric company, but this thing is awesome. They're using it to trim up some limbs on the trees here that are overhanging the power lines. We're coming into winter, and of course if you get ice and things like that, these limbs or snow, whatever, it'll break off and then take out your power line. So preventive maintenance here, they're cutting them. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to videotape this if they don't mind. Alright, so he said he don't mind if I record him, so he's going to town on that. There they go. And he said what they'll do is after he goes through and does that, cuts all the limbs, and they just drop down in the ditch. He said there's another guy that comes through with a machine that basically just goes through and just grinds it all up, turns it all into wood chips down there in the ditch, all those branches. Which is the same thing, I believe, that I'm going to be doing. Well, not me, but I'll be making a video about our second contractor to come onto the property since we've been here. Yesterday and today I was out here with the tractor and the chainsaw, and I was getting ready for this gentleman that will be working on our woods tomorrow. All that brush, all this little small trees, some of this brush back behind here, and this small stuff hopefully will be gone tomorrow. Walking down here, you see another big brush pile here. Couple of logs I cut there. They're kind of sad looking. I don't know if I'll be able to use them for lumber, those bottom two, but that top one is cedar and it has this natural arch. It used to be over the creek. It had fallen over and kept growing back up, so I might cut that so it's more symmetrical of a little archway, and then see if I can use it for something decorative. I don't know. This monster brush pile here with a bunch of the saw extra pieces off of my mill and whatnot. that's all gonna get chopped up, hopefully. All these little small things over here, hopefully. But here's what I did. Out here, this massive brush pile here, all came from over here. This log, cedar, those were sticking out across. That's where that big bent arched one came off of. It was right here. But I went through cut all kind of trees that were laying across the creek, blocking it up, causing all kind of problems. And some of them fell onto that side and I let them stay there. Some of them fell into the creek and I dragged them out one side or the other. All the brush that was down here, I dragged it this way. I cut a bunch of cedar and a couple of pine, and the leftover debris that's here should be getting chipped and chopped and turned into wood chips and laid out on the ground right through here. So I'm hoping that tomorrow by the end of the day this is all gone and it's just a bunch of nice ground with wood chips all over it. But this is what I spent the last couple days doing, mostly because I wanted to, let me see if I can get through here without falling over and breaking stuff or getting too dirty. Okay. So this really was the goal. You can actually see the creek is flowing nicely now, and you can see all the way across from that end where our little walkway comes down, round the bend, all the way down. It's clear and it flows real nice, except for that one. I couldn't really, I mean I could have, but I'm not gonna try it. I didn't want to cut down into that with the chainsaw going. I don't mind getting it wet. I did a couple other ones where the chain did get wet, but I don't know what's right under that, or if it's how mucky or rocky or anything else. So I wasn't trying to jack up my chain too bad by going into that. So hopefully tomorrow, after this is clear all through here, then I'll be able to back up with the tractor, run a chain under there, possibly lift that up just a little bit so that I know it's not in the rocks and muck, and then cut it. And that's a good long piece of cedar there. So once I cut it off there, I'd pull it up and hopefully drag it out of there with the tractor, and then I can cut it into logs to maybe mill it, hopefully. But that's as far as I got. See that right there, I pulled some stuff out along this edge over here, but like that tree I didn't mess with. And going further back, there's so much more. It keeps going with all the trees and debris. But that's what I've been doing the last 2 days, basically. Coming through, cutting some of the bigger ones that I wanted to use, and then pulling a lot of that debris from the bank and the edge of the creek, because he wouldn't have been able to do anything with that stuff down there in the creek and in that muck. So that brought it up where he's gonna have easy access to it, and he should hopefully be able to turn it into wood chips and open this up for us quite a bit. This is my sad face. So yesterday, the gentleman that was supposed to come and do the clearing in the woods did not come. Got in touch with him, played a little phone tag, and then found out basically Friday, the day before yesterday, he had gone out to do some work. We've had quite a bit of rain the last week, and I guess it was just real soggy and saturated ground, and his machine was just digging in and making ruts. So he did not want to go in our woods and just tear it all up and make a bunch of muddy nastiness. So he said we will see, because a lot of the stuff he does is weather dependent. So he said we'll see how it looks next week. Hopefully he's able to come out if it's dried a little bit, or potentially if the temperatures drop and the ground freezes a little bit and hardens up, that'll actually be real good too, because that'll allow him to get the machine in and around without too much mud and tearing things up. So I guess that gives me another week to go out and cut and prep and stack piles of brush for him to grind up. But that is what it is, so we'll see what happens next week. Hopefully he shows up and gets it done. See ya.